This is a video recapping the first few steps of coordinate geometry from GCSE, where we're going to have a look at y equals mx plus c, where you should remember that this is the equation that describes a straight line in coordinate geometry. M is the gradient of the line, how steep it is. It's the change in the y coordinates divided by the change in the x coordinates. And c is the y-intercept, so where the line crosses through the y-axis. So let's have a look at an example where we can find out the equation of a straight line. Like so, we're given two coordinates. We want to find the equation of the line that goes through both of those coordinates. First thing we're going to do, work out the gradient. So, the change in the y coordinates, I'm going to do 4 minus 1 over 3 minus 1/2. Which will simplify to give 5 divided by 3, take away 1/2 is 2.5, or 5 over 2, which we could write that down as being 5 divided by 5 over 2. This is a nice little trick here. Whenever you're dividing by something, if you're dividing by a fraction, you can write it like this, which allows you then to write it like this. And we can see that the answer to that is 2. So if you don't have a calculator, it's a nice little trick for you to be able to divide fractions easily. Anyway, so we know the gradient's 2. So our equation is going to look something like y equals 2x plus something on the end here. We're not sure what the y-intercept is yet. But we know that this line is going to go through both of these coordinates. At this stage you can pick which one you want to use to substitute in. We know if we substitute either one of these into our rule, it will tell us what the y-intercept is going to be. I'm going to pick that one, just because it's a little bit simpler than the one with fraction and negative. So I know that the y-coordinate was 4. I know that the x-coordinate was 3. I'm not sure what the y-intercept is yet. So I can see now that the y-intercept would have had to have been minus 2. And so the equation of my straight line is like that. Pretty straightforward. Next example. Find the equation of the straight line with gradient of minus 1/2 passing through that point. So a little bit simpler to begin with, in that we've already been told what the gradient is. So straight away I can write this down. Excuse me. Next step's exactly the same. I'm going to substitute this coordinates in to hopefully work out what my y-intercept is going to be. So y is minus 1, x is 4, minus 1/2 times 4 is going to be minus 2. And now if I add the 2 over here, I see that c is going to be 1. So the equation of my straight line is y equals minus 1/2 x plus 1. Now, that's a little bit messy, just because it's we've got a minus involved here, we've got a fraction involved there. So sometimes you might be asked to rewrite this without the minus and without the fraction. It might say to rewrite it in the form of ax plus by plus c equals 0. So, how can we rearrange this equation to make it so it's in this form? First thing I would do, multiply everything by 2 to get rid of the fraction. So we'll get a 2y equals minus x, the fraction has gone now, plus 2. Remember, you have to multiply both of these terms by 2 when you times the right hand side by 2. And the next thing I'm going to do to make it in the form of ax plus by plus c equals 0 is I'm going to take both of these and move them over to the left hand side. So the x will move over and will be a plus x, the 2y is still there, I'll move the 2 over and that will be a minus 2. And now this is in the form that I asked for.